Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. This Bern Convention is a convention that took place on an international level as an agreement between its signatories, which most countries all over the world are part of, whether they belong to the IMF or not, whether they're part of the centralized banking or not. They are part of the Bern Convention. So long as any body politic that loosely refer to themselves as countries or companies do business, they all have some form of intellectual property rights that they have to protect within the process of interfacing with other entities. And as a form of parlay, as a form of meeting of the minds, these entities came together and created this thing called the Bern Convention. And instead of one political body called the United States of America, and they're using the power of the de jure rather than just United States. Instead of them now creating complex other things that might conflict this, they say, you know what? We're just going to implement the same principles and concept because it's already perfected, and we'll just add it into our mode of operation. That way it's even easier so that when people come internationally, they're well aware of our customs here. And that is the origin of the creation of the laws governing copyrights within the enclaves and the jurisdiction of the United States of America that does business at North America. That anyone who knows about it, the details, and the creative aspect of it can put to use. Remember, it's all about intellectual property, meaning you can be creative with it as best as possible. And therein within it and of itself is where the power is. The fact that it's an intellectual creation. The law itself is just a secondary thing that backs your intellectual creation up. B. References to Title 17, United States Code. Whenever in this act an amendment or repeal is expressed in terms of an amendment to or a repeal of a section or other provisions, the reference shall be considered to be made to a section or other provisions of Title 17 United States Code. This basically told you everything that we're adopting from the Bern Convention, we are codifying it within Title 17. And every other subsequent amendments or addendums to it will also be in Title 17. Declarations, just like a declaration, in the form of a creative work, but not the idea itself. An idea cannot be copyrighted because more than one man or woman can come up with the same idea, because in truth, no matter how far we are from each other geographically, we all share the same collective consciousness. That's what that basically says. But now our form of expression of that same collective consciousness can be different. For instance, in different parts of the world, all parts of the world wear fezzes. The color, the design, the shape, and the expression of that fez is just different. Of course, they all mean the same thing. In North America, you usually see fezzes that are longer and certain holes in it as ventilation. But then those holes in ventilation have their significance. And then the tassel, which has its significance. In other parts of the world, you see their fez shaped like a ship, like a Vesca Pisces, like a vagina, rather than a circle or a cone. But it would also has a fez. The air vents are not in form of dots, circular. Your air vents are usually just one. But nonetheless, the symbolism behind that fez, the fact that the fez is circular, it's symbolism for the womb, the tassel being a symbol for the sun that goes around 360, and everything correlating to cosmology and astrology is synonymous, but its form of expression It's just different. Universally, it's the same thing. Does the idea behind cosmology and astrology change? No, it doesn't. But the form of expression might. Or, for instance, you come up with a massage tool because of backache. Many more people go through backaches, and they must have at some point thought, man, I can create this tool that will massage my back. But the way you create that tool to be able to massage your back, it's different. You can copyright that after the machine has been created. Not necessarily the idea that the massage tool exists for the back. Hence, intellectual property. It's a creative work. You gotta be creative with it. The copyright provision of the Bern Convention, the adherence of the United States thereto, and satisfaction of the United States obligation thereunder, do not expand or reduce any right of an author of a work, whether claimed under federal, state, their respective state constitutions, when it comes to security of intellectual rights or property rights. Because copyright is just a type of property right. In this case, something that has its origin from your creation, which we've read the definition of what copyright means. Does not expand or reduce any right of an author of a work, whether claimed under federal, state, or common law. These exist in your state level. It definitely does. And one thing I've noticed with the common laws regarding intellectual property rights is the initial 13 signatories to the Articles of Confederation have the best copyright laws or intellectual property laws compared to the rest who later came. Because remember that Article of Confederation is a perpetual one, a perpetual union. So it never expires. To claim the complete 34-minute video is on the Patreon page. Thanks to everyone who watches on YouTube, and thanks to my Patreon. Take care. Best of luck.